All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the true, holy, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father. Bahasham meaning in the name. Yahweh Shai is the true, holy, and powerful name of His only begotten Son, who is the Savior of the nation of Israel. Starting off with the elect within the nation of Israel. Israel consists of you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as well as you Israelite foreigners scattered abroad that may look like the nations where you've been scattered to, but are Israelites. And I also want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing out this word in all sincerity and in truth. All right, this is the brother you called from the GMS branch out in Des Moines, Iowa, coming back at you with another lesson inspired by the Holy Spirit, Harakak Wadash. And I was actually putting another lesson together through the Spirit, and I ended up looking up a few different terms, and the Spirit led me to this article. And I want to go into it and touch a few points on this article and pretty much touch up on the importance of delayed gratification, temperance, and belief in the reward. All right, so that we can deny the things of this world, the crumbs of Esau's society. All right, for a greater reward. All right, for the kingdom of heaven. All right, so without further ado, I'm gonna jump into it. Lord's will, this lesson be edifying. All right, but this is from verywellmind.com. And the title of the article is Delayed Gratification and Impulse Control by Kendra Cherry. All right, so it says delayed gratification involves the ability to wait to get what you want. Learn more about why delaying gratification can often be so difficult, as well as the importance of developing impulse control. What is delayed gratification? It says, what do you do at an annual company Christmas party when you encounter platters of delicious and tempting foods when you are trying to lose weight? If you give in and fill up your plate with goodies, it might derail your diet, but you will get to enjoy a bit of instant gratification. All right, and this society, instant gratification is pushed on an all-time high. All right, Esau pushes a carnal mindset of hungry, why wait? All right. Fulfill your lust, fulfill your desires. All right. Don't worry about the consequences. All right. And the scriptures actually talk about that mindset, man. All right. And let me grab this real quick. All right. You can go into in the book of Wisdom of Solomon. It talks about pretty much the mindset of the wicked is that YOLO spirit, man. You only live once, live it up, satisfy your flesh. But the scriptures speak contrary to that, man. All right. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 11. And verse 9, yeah, 11 and 9, it says, Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou that for all these things the Most High will bring thee into judgment. All right, so if you're moving according to, your flesh, how you feel, all right, whatever the case may be, all right, and you aren't acknowledging Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you aren't considering, all right, the judgment to come, all right, aren't walking in the fear of the Lord, all right, at the end of the day, you living that life, you're going to reap from it, man, as it is written in the book of Galatians 6 and 7, I believe. All right, this is Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. It says, Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. All right, so at the end of the day, if you're sowing to the flesh, you're going to eventually reap corruption. All right, even though at that time it may be gratifying instantly, okay, whatever it may be. All right, but we have to be exercising discipline. We have to exercise delayed gratification, as we're going to go back into, and this is what's profitable for us. All right, to make sure that we can receive the kingdom, man. All right, so let's go back to this. It says, if you manage to resist and spend the evening eating salad and munching on carrot sticks, then you will presumably receive an even greater reward down the line, shedding those unwanted pounds and being able to fit into your favorite pair of jeans. And even on a daily basis, our decision making with the foods that we put in our body, all right, that shows an amount of discipline. All right, now the scriptures talk about excess of meats. All right, how it could bring choler, roughly paraphrasing that in the book of Sirach, you know. It talks about how moderate eating can cause you to have good sleep in the book of Sirach as well. All right, so these things, all right, even exercise and discipline in our diet and how much we're eating, what we're eating, and so on and so forth, all right, that helps us out in the long run. But at that moment, you see particular things and you just consume it because it tastes good. All right, that can have an effect on your body, man. All right, so even in that, you can show forth delayed gratification. Like, you know what, I'm not going to eat this right now. All right, I'm gonna choose a better option, a healthier option. All right, that's gonna benefit me, man. You know, that's an exercise in that. But continue to read on. It says, this ability to resist temptation and stick to our goals is often referred to as willpower or self-control. And delaying gratification is often seen as a central part of this behavior. We put off what we want now so that we can perhaps get something else, something better later on. And that was a key paragraph to me, man. All right, in that last sentence, it says, we put off what we want now so that we can perhaps get something else, something better later on. All right. And I'm going to jump to this in the book of Hebrews, the 11th chapter, because this was the mentality of our righteous forefathers. All right. Even brothers call this chapter the Hall of Faith. All right. So these are different individuals that are commended by Yahweh Shem Yahushai are in examples that we should walk after. But Hebrews 11 and 13, it says, these all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off. All right, so they weren't consumed with instantly gratifying themselves. All right, they were looking at something ahead, something greater. All right, the kingdom of heaven. All right, they believed that that was greater than anything of that world or anything in this world, man. That's why they moved the way that they moved. As we're going to continue to read on, it says, these all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of the country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better country that is in heavenly. Wherefore the Most High is not ashamed to be called their power, for he hath prepared for them a city. All right, so it talks about our righteous forefathers. All right, what? Desiring a better country, desiring the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. All right. So that's why they were able to forsake, all right, forsake the things of the world, man, because of a belief, being fully persuaded, and something better for them. All right. So going into this in the book of Second Ezra because it talks about that city. All right, because we have to have faith and belief that there is something greater for us. See, a lot of people in this world, all right, they don't refrain themselves from their appetites or they speaking to our people, all right, they don't draw nigh into this world, into this word, Salakia. One of the main reasons is because it's afar off, all right. They aren't willing to wait. Okay. They want the right here and the right now. All right. They want to live it up on this side. All right, enjoy the things of this world. And really, this is crumbs. The scriptures talk about in the book of Luke, I believe it's the 16th chapter. It talks about the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. Lazarus being symbolic for the nation of Israel, and the rich man being Esau, Edom. All right. But what it said how Lazarus he ate crumbs from this table, from the rich man's table. See what even entertainers in this society, your Jay-Z's, your Mayweathers and everything like that. All right, they got this fiat currency. They're flexing, cars and different carnal things of this world. All right, but even all that, that's crumbs, man. Okay, that doesn't even amount to what even our forefather, even King Solomon had on this side. All right, and everybody in the kingdom of heaven is going to be set beyond that, but they don't even have that on this side, man. Barely have anything compared to what Esau has, man. All right, speaking of the elites, okay. They're sitting on trillions, all right? Abundance of resources, man, and everything like that. All right, but our people fight for crumbs. Where here it is, the Lord said that the whole earth is ours, man. The world was made for our sakes, all right? The scriptures even talk about how in our Father's house are many mansions, man. Okay, there's dwelling places in the stars and in the heavens, all right, that are for us, okay? Pure resources, man, okay? Whatever the case it may be, we have all of that in abundance waiting for us. All right. But if you can't see that, all right, if you don't believe in that, then you wouldn't even waste your time striving for that, man. What our people see is the right here and the right now. They see Drake. All right. They see the different men that I've mentioned. All right. Your LeBrons. They see what they have right now and they want to obtain that as opposed to, you know what? Fuck all that. All right. I'm reading in the scriptures about something greater. something undefiled. That's what I want. So we have to have this mentality, all right? But jumping back to this in the book of Second Ezra, the seventh chapter, it says 7 and 6, it says there's also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. All right. It says full of all good things, man. Right? It also says here, jumping over a chapter, Second Ezra chapter 8, and this is what we're fighting for. This is what we're hoping for, man. This is what's prepared for us, man. Even it even talks about in the book of Psalms. It says, "Delight yourself in the Lord; He shall give thee the desires of thine heart." It says, "Commit thy way unto Him, and He shall bring it to pass." So whatever your heart desires in righteousness, the Lord is going to freely give it over to you. Hey, and even when you think about it, these different people that I mentioned, look at all the time, all right, and hours of dedication that they put into their craft, all right, to be on top for a short time period, man. All right, a lot of the times they're on top of their game for maybe a 10-year span, all right, but they put in 30 years of hard work and toil, man. See, the beauty about this work that we're putting in, yeah, we're putting in work right now, labor right now, but we're going to be set for eternity, man. All right, you might have came into this faith and started sowing seeds of righteousness, all right, in your life through the Spirit. Okay, maybe you started 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, maybe you just came into the faith. The scriptures talk about how people came at different hours, all right, to do the work, but they all received the penny. Okay, and that penny being the kingdom of heaven when you go into that parable, man. All right. But nevertheless, when you compare that short amount of time that we've been in this faith and that we've been sowing in righteousness compared to an eternity, man, all right, of riches and wealth and honor and glory with a crown of your head on your head, being able to sit with Yahweh Shah, man, none of this compares to that, man. All right. But we have to believe in that. We have to believe in this reward. Okay. And it talks about it in the book of Sirach as well. It talks about how a grain of sand is on the sea, on the seashore. So are 1,000 years to the days of eternity, man. All right, when you take things in that perspective, a whole 1,000 year period is like one grain of sand on the seashore, man. All right, we're gonna be immortal. All right. So when you take that in perspective, this little time of labor that we're putting in is nothing compared unto what we're gonna receive, man, an eternity of happiness, joy. And let me go ahead and read it right here. Salakia, second Ezra chapter 8 and 52. It says, "For unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, plenteousness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom." All right, this is what is awaiting us, man. But what we have to deny ourselves right now to receive of this, man. It says the root of evil is sealed up from you, weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end it showed the treasure of immortality. All right. So sorrows are passed away. There'll be no more crying, no more tears, no more death, as it talks about in Revelation, the 21st chapter, right? And when you read throughout the prophecies in the book of Isaiah, man, it talks about how our gates are going to be open continually. All right. You're going to have all these nations, heathens nations, man, giving us the best of all of their resources, man. All right. Just coming over continually, giving it over unto us, man. All right. Frankincense, myrrh, barrels of it, man. Right now, Jake have a little capsule frankincense oil. All right. You know, putting it on them and everything like that, man. Even in the ancient world, you had even under I think that was the Persian kingdom, man, under Esther or where Esther was under. Okay, the women in that kingdom that were for the king, they were bathing in oils. All right, bathing in oils, man. Okay, it wasn't just a little capsule. No, they were bathing in those oils, man. 6 months in certain oils and another 6 months in another type of oil, man. You know, so we're gonna have an abundance of resources, man. We're gonna have thousands upon thousands of children, man. All right, our children are gonna be as the sand of the sea, man. So even to have all those children, think about how much resources you're gonna have, man. You're gonna have so much resources, okay, in the kingdom of heaven, to where your great grandchildren, all right, you're gonna be passing down an inheritance to them, man. You'll be able to give them land and resources, man, to where they're well off, and their children's children are well off, man. All right. The scriptures talk about in the book of Numbers, I believe, man. It might be Leviticus. It talks about how's it worded, man. I'm gonna grab this real quick and then we're gonna go back to this precept. All right. It says the old store. All right. Just to put in the perspective of what we have to come, and this has to be at the forefront of our mind, man. All right. This was on Yahweh Shai's mind. All right. The reward that was set before him, as it says in the book of Hebrews, the 12th chapter. Real quick, Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 1, it says, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. So we got to put aside, all right, these different weights, these different things that are hindering us, seeing what's set before us. All the things that the Spirit had me describe, man. Verse 2, it says, looking unto Yahweh Shai, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him, meaning the reward, right, endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. So Yahweh Shai, he was considering the reward when he was going through his suffering, man. All right. Like it says here, when you look up that phrase, that word despising, because it said he despised the shame, all right, that he had to go through, that abasement, that humbling that he had to endure. All right, that word despise, it says to contemn, despise, disdain, think little or nothing of. So our Lord thought little or nothing of the abasement that he had to go through in that lifetime compared to the glory that he will receive, man. Now at the name of Yahweh shall every knee bow down and every tongue shall confess. All right. He's the ruler of everything, man. All right. But he had to go through that abasement to receive of that, man. So what he had to go through, man, nothing compared to what he received, man. All right. So we should have this mentality, man. All right. But going to this in the book of Leviticus chapter 26 and verse, I'm gonna start at verse 9. For I will have respect unto you and make you fruitful and multiply you and establish my covenant with you. And ye shall eat old store and bring forth the old because of the new. All right. So imagine that, man. All right, here it is. You got the heathens bringing in everything. They got all these resources. They bringing in the frankincense. They're bringing in the myrrh. They're bringing in their best daughters. All right, they're bringing in the black copal. They're bringing in your favorite stones. All right, and they ain't just bringing in stones, man. They got big boulders of it, man. All right, so that you could carve it for your living room, man. Your living room made out of one particular stone. All right. You got black opal on the ceiling. All right. Then you got gold on the walls. All right. All types of things. You can use your imagination, right? But this is the amount of resources that we're gonna have. But when they're bringing it in, it's gonna be like, you know what? I ain't even got room for this. I'm gonna have to set it on in one of my storehouses, man. And you're gonna have so much coming in, you ain't gonna even touch that storehouse for another 5 years, man. All right. Something that the heathens is bringing in to you today, you ain't gonna touch it for 10 years, man. Just because of how much abundance of resources that you have, man. All right. Bringing in wine. All right. You done got some wine that Moab had got for you 40 years ago. All right. Still ain't touch it, man. You know? You might not ever touch it. You be like, you know what? I'm gonna give it to one of my great grandchildren 1,000 years from now, man. And these are things that we have to have faith in and really imagine, man. All right, this increases our hope, okay? And to put away the things of this world, man. All right, the things of this society, man. All right, this is what we got coming to us. All right, but anyways, let's go back. All right, let's go back to where were we at? All right, Second Ezra 8. I'm gonna read this one more time. Second Ezra 8 and 53 or 54. It says, "Sorrows are past, and in the end, it showed the treasure of immortality." All right, so all this is before us, man. Okay, so going back to this article, it says, I'm gonna read this highlighted portion again. It says, this ability to resist temptation and stick to our goals is often referred to as willpower or self-control. So if we want all those things, all right, if we want the kingdom, all right, if we want all that glory and honor that the Lord has already promised unto us, man, well, we have to exercise, all right, self-control, man. We have to exercise temperance. All right. Now let's grab this in the book of First Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 24. It says, know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Yeah, it says, and everyone that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. So Paul is using the analogy of different athletes in the Olympic Games at that time, man. Okay, how they're striving, all right, to receive that reward, to get first place, right? But it says that everyone that's striving, all right, to get the victory in whatever sport they're playing, right? It says they're temperate in all things. Now that word temperate in the blue letter says to be self-controlled, continent. All right. So we have to exercise self-control to exhibit self-government, conduct oneself temperately. It says in a figure drawn from athletes who, in preparing themselves for the games, abstain from unwholesome food, wine, and sexual indulgence. All right. So these different athletes, they're willing, all right, to bridle themselves, subdue their flesh from their desires, all right, to what? To perform at a high level, man, to ensure that they can get the victory. All right. So if these athletes are doing it for a corruptible crown, all right, putting in all that effort to get just a ring, okay, and then the next year somebody else is gonna get it, all right, to get a title, whatever the case it may be, all right, hold the world record, and then 2 years later somebody else break the world record, and then they off of their throne. The riches that they obtain, it passes away. All these things are corruptible in this world, man. But they put in all that effort for a corruptible crown. So how much more effort should we put in for an incorruptible crown, man? All right, we should be able to abstain from certain things, man. All right, exercise self-control so that we could perform in this ministry, man. All right, so that we could perform for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man, in our character and the way that we walk and the way that we move and reason. All right, making sure that we're teaching the proper doctrine, all right, making sure that we're judging righteous judgment, all these things, man. It says, going back, 1 Corinthians chapter 9 and verse 25 again, it says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. All right. It says, verse 26, I therefore shall run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. Meaning that what? He's moving with a purpose, man. Okay. He's not just out there running willy-nilly, okay? Walking through the motions and the practice and everything like that. No, he's intent. He's focused. He's focused on that prize. Like, no, I gotta get first place. All right. I gotta win. I gotta win. I gotta win. All right. He ain't just going through the motions, man. It says, verse 27, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I preach to others, I myself should be a castaway. Now, going into this phrase, but I keep under my body, or I keep under, it says, to beat black and blue, to smite so as to cause bruises and livid spots. Like a boxer, one buffets his body, handle it roughly, disciplined by hardship. So it shows you the degree or the extent that an athlete will go, a boxer will go, all right, to discipline himself, all right, so that he can receive that reward, man. So the same thing with us. We have to discipline ourselves, man. All right, we have to exercise this temperance. All right, we have to be able to be willing to what? Put away instant gratification, all right, for the delayed gratification. And the delayed gratification is way better, man. All right, let the people of this world have it. All right, it's burning anyways, man. You can have everything that Esau has to offer in this society, man. His little crumbs. You can have all that. It's burning down anyways, man. You know, we got something way greater, man. Okay, that's why the scriptures talk about what? Laying up our treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, nor thieves break through and steal. Or what we got coming is way greater than what this world can even imagine, man. Okay, but it says that's it on that. All right, so let me go back to the article here. It says, I'm gonna read this paragraph one more time. It says, this ability to resist temptation and stick to our goals is often referred to as willpower or self-control, or we can replace that for temperance. All right, and that's what the Holy Spirit of wisdom should increase us in, man. Like it talks about in Wisdom of Solomon, the 8th chapter. It talks about how wisdom, she teaches temperance, prudence, all right, justice, and fortitude. All right. But one of those key things is temperance, that's self control. And delaying gratification is often seen as a central part of this behavior. We put off what we want now so that we can perhaps get something else, something better later on. Choosing a long term reward over immediate gratification poses a major challenge in many areas of life, from avoiding a slice of chocolate cake when we are trying to lose weight to staying home to study instead of going out to a party with friends. The ability to delay gratification can mean the difference between achieving our goals or not. Do you have the ability to resist and receive a later and even better reward? All right. And that was a powerful question, man. Okay. Do you have the ability to resist and receive a later and even better reward? And what seem, or should I say it like this? The masses of the people, they aren't willing to do that, man. Okay. First and foremost, really, the Lord hasn't given our majority of our people the eyesight to even see the kingdom, all right, to even believe through the precepts what's to come. That is way greater, all right. But they aren't willing to resist the now for the later, man. All right, the pleasures of this world, all right, of just going off after the flesh and the lust, the lust of the flesh now, all right, for something way better, man. Now let's grab this in the book of Sirach, the 18th chapter. Sirach 18 and 30, it says, Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetites. All right. So we have to be able to refrain ourselves from our appetites, our desires, man. All right. It says, If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her. All right. So if we continually just giving in, all right, to our appetites, our lusts, it says, She will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee. All right. So we don't want to give ourselves over to these things, man. Right? Like it talks about in the book of Proverbs, Proverbs 23 and 2. It says, And put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. All right. Put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. Now, just to go into this, okay, I just brought up a commentary on it as I was reading it. I like how it's worded here. This is just from BibleHub.com, and that's the commentary on Proverbs 23 and 2. It says, and put a knife to thy throat. Use the strongest methods to keep thine appetite in check if thou art likely to give way to it. Okay? So we have to keep our appetites in check. That's pretty much keeping our lust, our flesh in check. All right? Because the flesh, man, it's just hungry. All right? Hungry, thirsty. All right? Whatever it doesn't, man. If the flesh has no boundaries, all right? We have to put our flesh into subjection. Okay? We can't be like brute beast. A beast, an animal, just goes after his feelings. Okay, we have to use proper reasoning, all right, proper judgment to be able to deny these things, knowing that there's something greater ahead of us, man. It says, use the strongest methods to keep thine appetite in check, if thou art likely to give way to it, and then overcome by meat and drink to say or do anything to offend any host. All right, so we have to keep this in mind, man. Have to keep our body in subjection so that we can receive all this great glory in the kingdom to come. All right, excuse me. All right, this is Sirach chapter 19 and verse 5. Whoso taketh pleasures in wickedness shall be condemned, but he that resisteth pleasures crowneth his life. All right, so this is what we got to be doing, man. All right, now there's a balance in all these things. Okay, it doesn't mean you're gonna be like a monk, okay, in a corner somewhere 24/7. No, all right, like Apostle Gabar, he mentions from time to time, one of the major keys to this truth, all right, is balance. Okay, knowing when it's time, you know what, all right, I can indulge in this. All right, you know what, now I need to moderate this. You know what, I need to completely cut this out for the time being. I can actually give myself over into this a little bit. You know, it's all about moderation, because you do got to take care of the flesh to a particular degree. We're in this flesh, okay? So the scriptures give the balance of these things, but we want to be in the proper balance that's going to be profitable for our salvation, man. All right, so let's go back to this article. This is let's see. Uh, all right. Yep. So I'm gonna jump to this green portion here. Actually, I'm gonna jump to this paragraph here. It says the Stanford marshmallow experiment. It says in a classic psychology experiment from the 1970s, a psychologist named Walter Mischel placed a treat in front of children and offered them a choice. They could either enjoy the treat now or wait a brief period of time in order to get two snacks. Okay, and it's the same, the same thing that we go through, man. In the spiritual sense, it's like, all right, cool. Esau, he's got Babylon laid out. You can enjoy any desire, lust that you have, any pleasures, no matter how weird and nasty. You can do whatever the hell you want here. Okay, all right. So you got that in front of you, or you got the kingdom. I'm gonna compare that to the two marshmallows, man. All right. You got the two marshmallows that if you just wait a little bit, I'm gonna give you a better marshmallows, all right, in righteousness, so to speak, and way more of it in abundance. All right. So it says when the experimenter left the room, many of the kids immediately ate the treat, often a pretzel or marshmallow. But some of the kids were able to put off the urge to enjoy the treat now and wait for the reward of getting two delicious goodies later on. What Mitchell discovered was that the kids who were able to delay gratification had a number of advantages later on over in the kids who simply could not wait. The children who had waited for the treat performed better academically years later than kids that ate the treat right away. Those who delayed their gratification also displayed fewer behavioral problems and later had much higher SAT scores. And just to sum it up, all right, exercise and discipline over the flesh, all right, it benefits us in all aspects of our lives, man. All right. And our decision making as a whole overall, man. Not only towards salvation, but even in the carnal things of this world, man. All right. Where discipline helps us out. All right. But it says, let's see. So, okay, I got a couple notes here. I just want to make sure I don't skip over a point. All right, yep. So let's keep going. It says, why is it so hard to wait? So, if the ability to control our impulses and delay gratification is so important, how exactly can people go about improving this ability? In follow up experiments, Mitchell found that using a number of distraction techniques helped children delay gratification more effectively. Such techniques included singing songs, thinking about something else, or covering their eyes. All right, so you had a child there, okay? The marshmallows in front of them. So pretty much the only way that one of the main or one thing that helped that child from not just indulging, all right, in eating that marshmallow right now, right then and there, so they can get the two marshmallows later. They pretty much had to distract themselves, man. Okay, they had to think about something else, right? He gave the different examples, but I'm gonna apply it in the spirit. All right, the more that we're engulfed in this word, all right, and not thinking about the here and the now, all right, the more strength that we have to deny ourselves, man, all right, to deny certain desires and temptations, man, all right. So let's grab this in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4 and verse 18. It says, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. So we got to focus on the things that are not seen. All right. We got to focus on the kingdom of heaven, not the here and the now. All right. It says, for the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. All right. So that's what it is. So the more that we focus and be engulfed in this word and thinking about the kingdom, all right, the more strength that we have to deny this world. All right. The cares of this life. Okay, so that we aren't overcharged with surfeit and drunkenness and the cares of this life, as the scriptures talk about in the book of Luke, the 21st chapter, so that we can be locked in and focus on what's to come and do what's necessary to obtain that, man. All right, we can't be looking at the shit here, man. All right, that's what Lot's wife did. All right, as they were leaving Sodom and Gomorrah, when the Lord was about to bring the destruction upon that place, what did she do? Lot's wife looked back. All right. She regarded Sodom and Gomorrah with care. Well, I believe that's when you look up the phrase "look back" in that particular scripture in the Old Testament, man. All right, if I'm not mistaken. But she regarded Sodom and Gomorrah with care. She was thinking about it, man. And then what happened, man? She turned into a pillar of salt. So we can't get caught up in this world, man. All right, so that we don't fall after that same example of unbelief. All right, not having faith in the reward and something greater to come. All right, so let's go back to this article, and we're just going to read a little bit more out of this and then end it off. It says, delaying gratification isn't always so cut and dried in the real world. However, while the children in Mitchell's study had the promise of a secondary reward for waiting just a short period of time, everyday scenarios don't always come with the same guarantee. With this guarantee, if you give up that brownie, you still might not lose weight. If you skip a social event to study, you still might do poorly on the exam. It is this uncertainty that makes giving up immediate rewards so difficult. That delicious treat in front of you now is a sure thing, but your goal of losing weight seems much further off and not so certain. And this is the importance of having belief in the reward. All right. Now, in the different examples that he's given, he's like, yeah, these things, it's not sure. All right. Hey, even with these different athletes, man. Different athletes, man, they can put in years and hard work and dedication, man. Somebody could have been hooping since the time they was 3 years old, man, just to go to the league. All right. And what happens, man? Sprains his ankle, tears his ACL, can't recover back. All right. Different things like that can happen. Okay. He just doesn't make the cut, never makes it to the league. All right. All these different examples of thousands upon thousands of people that tried to reach a certain stature in their craft and never reached it, man. Okay. Never reached that pinnacle. Right. But see, within this knowledge, in this faith, see, the reward is sure. If we endure to the end, the reward is sure. All right. That kingdom is there. Hey, the scripture says how the kingdom is prepared for us, man. How's it worded, man, in the book of Second Ezra? Let me look it up real quick. Just bear with me. All right, this is Second Ezra chapter 2 and verse 13. It says, "Go and ye shall receive, pray for a few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you." Watch, so the kingdom is already there. Prepared for us, man. Okay? There's crowns that are prepared for the elect already, man. Hey, Yahweh Shai said, "I go to prepare a place for you." If it were not so, I would not have told you, man. So there's already places out there that's prepared for his men, man. All right, for his true servants, his true believers, man. We just got to endure to the end, remain faithful unto death, and then we'll get that crown of life. All right. So it's already here for us, man. It ain't no maybe it ain't the Lord ain't selling wolf tickets, man. If he said it, it's gonna come to pass. All right. And we gotta have faith in that. All right. And this is why, all right, certain people, all right, fall away because they don't really believe in the reward, man. And we're gonna grab the precepts to back it up. I'm gonna finish out this paragraph though. It says, or these next two paragraphs, it says, in the article appearing in Cognition, neuroscientist Joseph W. Cable and Joseph T. McGuire of the University of Pennsylvania suggest that our uncertainty about future rewards is what makes delaying gratification such a challenge. The timing of real world events is not always so predictable, they explain. Decision makers routinely wait for buses, job offers, weight loss, and other outcomes characterized by significant temporary uncertainty. In other words, we don't know when these long term rewards will arrive or even if they will ever arrive. All right. And you have people that have that mentality, man, not believing that, man, we ain't finna get a kingdom. Okay. Might have been saying it, but not showing it forth in their actions, man, or not even the belief in the judgment to come. All right. Not believing that nuclear fire is coming and all these things are going to come down, man. So we have to have belief. All right, reading this last point, it says, while going for the immediate reward is often viewed as a loss of self-control and giving in to temptation, which that is the case at times, it says it can actually represent a rational action in cases where a promised reward is uncertain or unlikely, McGuire and Cable suggests. So at times, certain people just believe that, this ain't gonna happen. All right, these things ain't gonna happen, man, or just down there might happen. So just in case, I'm gonna do a little bit of this. But if it don't happen, I got all this on the side that I'm gonna enjoy. All right. It says trust is a critical factor. Whether or not you are willing to wait might depend a lot on your worldview. Do you wait for something if you aren't sure it will ever really happen? Do you have faith in your abilities to make things happen or trust that your goals will come to pass? All right. So tying it into the kingdom. All right. Somebody ain't going to wait or put in that effort if they don't believe that it's going to happen. Somebody's not going to deny themselves of particular things if they don't believe that there's something greater for them, man. All right. So let's grab the precepts to accompany that. Let's start off with Hebrews 11 and 6. It says, "But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him." So we have to believe, Salaki, we have to believe that there's a reward that's coming, man. All right. That we ain't doing this for nothing, for not. All right. It says, here's Revelation chapter 22 and verse 12. "And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be." So Yahweh Shai said it himself. This is in the red letter. It says, "Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me." So Yahushua is coming with the reward, man. All right, and he's got gifts. Okay, he's got a lot of gifts. All right, to pass out. Okay, for those that believe in him, for his true servants, man. And he's got a lot of punishments that he's gonna pass out for everybody that didn't believe. Okay. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and 15, it says, "But the righteous live forevermore. Their reward also is with the Lord, and the care of them is with the Most High. Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand. For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them." So, literally, man, getting a crown from Yahweh hand. All right. Have him place that on our heads, man. Hearing those words, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." All right. This is what's to come, a glorious kingdom. All right. Honor, rulership, man. It says, for our shame. Let me grab this, man. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 61 and verse man, all right, I gotta start up a little bit. Man. All right, I'm gonna get closer to the point, but Isaiah 61 and 4, it says, I'm gonna start at verse 3. It says, "To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called the trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he might be glorified." All right, so for all the suffering that we've gone through, man, all the sorrow and pain that we've gone through, man, we're gonna have joy. All right, all the mourning that we went through, man, that heavy spirit that Jake be in at times, man, because of the curses and the sufferings that we go through, or whatever the case may be, being in this flesh. All right, man, the Lord sees all that, man, and there's a great reward for it, man. So where all these things are going to be forgotten, man. It talks about that in the book of Sirach, the 11th chapter. It says, in the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction, man. So when we get set in the kingdom, all this hell forgotten. All right. That's how great it's going to be, man. That's how overwhelming, all right, of joy that the Lord is going to give us in the kingdom. It says that they might be called the righteous, so like in verse 4, "And they shall build the old waste, they shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolations of many generations. And strangers shall feed, Salaki, and strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. And the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers." So we're gonna have servants, all these people that hated us, man, talk shit about us, these heathens and everything like that, man. They're gonna be the ones that are serving us hand and foot. All right, they're gonna be our servants, our slaves, man. It says, verse 6, "But ye shall be named the priests of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers of our power. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves." All right. So they're going to be bringing all of their resources unto us. "For your shame, ye shall have double. And for confusion, they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore, in their land, they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them." All right. So, hey, for all of our shame, man, hey, we're gonna receive double for it. All right. So all this suffering that we went through, man, this hell that we've gone through, man, we got something way greater prepared for us, man. All right. And back then, when we read about it in the book of Hebrews, the 11th chapter, how our forefathers saw it afar off, it's not afar off now. It's right here at the doors, man. In this lifetime, are we gonna receive the reward, man? All right. Through the collapse of this society, Lord's will we endure to the end. That is right there at the corner, man. Or right there at the door, should I say? Man, just imagine there's gonna come a day where we're gonna open our eyes and we're gonna be in the kingdom, man. Straight up, we're gonna open our eyes, all right, and finally be in the kingdom. Be able to exhale, no more sorrow, no more pain, man. Like it talks about in the book of Psalms, the 149th chapter, I believe, man. We shall wake up upon our beds with a two-edged sword in our hands, man, executing the judgment upon the heathen, the judgment written. This honor have all his saints, man. Literally, man, being able to open our eyes and finally be in the kingdom. That's right there around the corner, man. All right. It could be a year from now. It could be 2 years from now. It could be three. All right. Nevertheless, all right, it's soon. All right. Yahushua said, "Behold, I come quickly." and my reward is with me. All right, but let me go to this in the book of Romans, chapter 4 and 21. In verse 20, it says, he staggered not at the promise of the Most High through unbelief, but was strong in faith, giving glory to the Most High. Speaking of Abraham, okay? And being fully persuaded that what he had promised, he was able also to perform. All right, so we got to be fully persuaded in these things and the reward. All right, and that will strengthen us. All right, to deny the now, to receive the greater later, being the kingdom of heaven. But I'm ended right there through the Spirit, man. Lord's will, that was, encouraging, man, and exhorting. And having that being said, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect pushing out this word in all sincerity and in truth. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.